When we think of English queens, names like Elizabeth I and Victoria come to mind. The Virgin Queen with her fiery speeches and the defeat of the Armada. Queen Victoria, the Widow in Black, symbol of an era and empire. And of course, Queen Elizabeth II, a constant through decades of change. These women are celebrated, remembered, and seen as giants of history. But is that the whole story? What if I told you there was another? A queen who claimed England's throne in her own right, before Elizabeth I, at a time when many believed a woman couldn't or shouldn't rule. Her story is often overlooked, tucked away in the pages of history. She challenged expectations and changed the course of the monarchy. Who was she? Let's find out. So, who was this forgotten queen? Her name was Mary Tudor, the first daughter of King Henry VIII, yes, the king with all the wives. Mary was his eldest child and for a time his only legitimate heir. She was England's first crowned queen regnant, ruling by birthright, not marriage. In a world dominated by men, this was groundbreaking. Her reign was short, but significant, and deeply controversial. Why is she so often forgotten, or remembered only by a harsh nickname? Her successor, Elizabeth I, had a longer reign and a better reputation. History is written by the victors, and Mary's story was overshadowed. But understanding Mary is crucial to understanding the queens who followed. She faced immense challenges, both personal and political. Her story is one of faith, conflict, and resilience, and it deserves to be told. Mary was born in 1516 to King Henry VIII and Catherine of Aragon, a Spanish princess. As a child, Mary was clever, well-educated, and cherished as the heir to the throne. But Henry desperately wanted a son to secure the Tudor dynasty. When Catherine couldn't provide one, Henry sought an annulment. The Pope refused, so Henry broke from Rome, creating the Church of England. Mary's world collapsed, declared illegitimate, stripped of her title, and separated from her mother. She clung fiercely to her Catholic faith, the faith of her mother. This put her at odds with her father and, later, her Protestant half-brother, Edward VI. These experiences shaped her, turning a cherished princess into a determined survivor. Mary's early trauma forged her will of iron. She learned to endure loss, betrayal, and isolation. Her faith became her anchor. The religious upheaval of her youth would define her reign. She was tested by family and by the shifting tides of power, but she never lost sight of her birthright. Against all odds, she would fight for her place in history. Mary's story is one of survival and conviction. She was forged in fire, and she would not be broken. After Henry's death, young Edward VI became king, a staunch Protestant. Mary, a devout Catholic, was next in line, but Edward's council feared her. They tried to block her by naming Lady Jane Grey, a Protestant, as heir. Jane was proclaimed queen, but her claim was weak. She ruled for just 9 days. Mary refused to accept defeat. She rallied support in East Anglia, gathered an army, and the people backed her as Henry's true daughter. Support for Jane collapsed. Even the Royal Navy sided with Mary. Mary rode into London in triumph, cheered by crowds. In August 1553, Mary I was proclaimed Queen of England, the first undisputed queen regnant. Against powerful men and political schemes, she claimed her crown. It was an extraordinary moment in English history. A woman, against all odds, had prevailed. The Age of Queens had truly begun. As queen, Mary's mission was clear: restore England to the Catholic Church. She repealed Protestant laws and married Philip II of Spain, a move deeply unpopular in England. Fears of foreign influence and a childless marriage fueled unrest. Sir Thomas Wyatt led a rebellion, aiming to depose Mary and perhaps put Elizabeth on the throne. Mary stood firm, refusing to flee London and rallying her defenders. The rebellion was crushed, but opposition simmered. Then came the darkest chapter, the persecution of Protestants. Nearly 300 people were burned at the stake for refusing to renounce their faith. These brutal burnings earned her the name Bloody Mary. Her policies horrified many then and now. Yet in her mind, she was saving souls and restoring order. Mary's reign was marked by conviction and by conflict. She ruled with iron resolve, but at a terrible cost. Her legacy would be forever shaped by these choices. Mary's reign lasted just 5 years, too brief to secure her changes or legacy. Her lack of an heir meant the throne passed to her Protestant half-sister, Elizabeth. Elizabeth's long, successful reign quickly overshadowed Mary's troubled time. The Elizabethan era became the Golden Age, Mary's reign a dark prelude. History was shaped by Protestant writers like John Foxe, who cemented the image of Bloody Mary. Mary became a caricature, the cruel, fanatical Catholic queen. Her achievements and courage were downplayed or ignored. The narrative suited the new regime, glorifying Elizabeth and vilifying Mary. But the real Mary was far more complex. She was a victim of propaganda and of history's selective memory. So what should we make of Mary I today? She was England's first crowned queen regnant, proving a woman could rule with full authority. She set a precedent for Elizabeth and all future queens. Mary faced adversity, declared illegitimate, exiled, threatened by plots, yet persevered. She fought for her right and won the crown against the odds. Her courage during crises like Wyatt's Rebellion was remarkable. Some of her reforms, like reorganizing the Navy and royal finances, paved the way for Elizabeth's successes. Mary's story is a reminder that history is rarely black and white. She was neither villain nor flawless heroine, but a woman of conviction